I'm waiting on this wild boar just after midnight in the middle of a Georgia pecan orchard. And we'll get to a lot more of that sort of stuff in a little bit. But first, please enjoy a little background into the world and industry of pecan farming in southwest Georgia. Here I am traveling down that way, on a trip to go hunting, of course. And it's pretty common to see signs like this along I-75. Hey, these things are delicious, whether they're whole like this or candied like this. Praline's down low and my favorite up top, the chocolate. Hey, Georgia pecans are in demand, and a lot of farmers are thinking about raising them. I mean, hey, plant a few trees, cash in later on, right? First, you'll need to plant this rather expensive and hard to get a hold of tree, and give it lots and lots of water, of course, as well as some fertilizer now and then. Of course, you'll want to inspect it closely and spray for pests often. And after a good long time, you'll have yourself a real mature nut-producing pecan tree. This orchard is just about ready for harvesting. See how the husks are starting to split, showing the pecan shell behind it? Well, this whole grove is about to that stage. Now the next step is going to be bringing in one of these, a shaker, and it's being run by a friend of mine who's really good at it. He can pull up to a tree, grab a hold of that branch in seconds, and engage the device that causes everything to shake out of that tree. Leaves, sticks, even squirrels. When the nuts hit the ground, go ahead and use a machine to blow or sweep them into long rows called windrows. These windrows are going to be picked up by the machine that tractor's pulling. Alright, you see that wind and debris blowing out to the sides? That's the chaff. Well, the sticks and the leaves and the dust getting blown out to the sides, leaving the nuts and the larger sticks to run up that conveyor belt to the back and drop into the wagon. This small wagon will be dumped into a larger wagon that will be driven to a cleaning plant. Here the nuts will be moved up this conveyor belt across a bunch of different systems designed to sort and size. Lastly, bag those pecans and ship them off so you can collect those profits. There's an army of millions that would prefer your pecans never made it from this stage to this stage. Here's a list of some of their ranks. Just prior to shaking the pecan trees, they'll fall naturally, and in my buddy's grove, they get torn up by the critters. This is what the ground looks like before we can get there and harvest. Everywhere you walk, it's like this. Here's some shots from our CuddyView game camera. This is just during daytime. I assure you, the activity at night, especially for wild hogs, is pretty intense. Here's the weapon of choice to combat particularly the wild hogs at night. A thermal scope mounted on a semi-automatic rifle can be very effective with good skill and good preparation. Of course, in a large group of hogs, you won't kill everyone, but the theory is that you'll educate those hogs to stay away from that place. And of course, for every hog you take out of the population, particularly females, you're reducing that one from making future generations to come on back. I have good shots for you of shooting and of kills coming up. These, however, were taken on a hunt not so long ago prior to me having the recording device I wanted. What we did is we came out a little bit before sunup. We were going to do a crow hunt. We had to set out our decoys in this orchard. We scanned the field, did a little walk around the perimeter, and found these hogs and took 4 out of 8 out. This was the results of just a couple hours of crow hunting with poor shooting. And of course, there's plenty of these little guys in the pecan groves that need thinning. So I finally got my recording device to record off the thermal scope. Got all the kinks worked out. Figured that these hogs might be in there in the early morning after that last hunt I showed you the results from. Alright, I get out there and sure enough, here they are. Now you might think, why am I not squeezing the trigger? Well, the reason is they're very near the edge of the grove, and they're at or slightly in excess of 100 yards. As you can see, the tree branches dip down just a little bit, so I decide that I need to move a little bit closer to hopefully get a good follow-up shot at several of these guys. By the time I move 40 yards and set up, they're at the edge of the grove exiting, and I never get a shot. The next morning, after an hour of bow hunting, I decide to grab the thermal and walk around the grove and look. Don't need the thermal, of course, it's daylight. Because it was daylight, I figure why even bring the recording device? And sure enough, I see these two. I got them both, 2 for 2, but sorry, no video footage. Well, check this out. These guys are the same size in terms of body length, proportions, and all that. However, the one on the left, skinny, and the one on the right, very fat. Check out this open cut of his back when I was cleaning him. You think he's been in there eating pecans? Okay, we're just now getting to the good part, but I'm going to stop, upload this to YouTube, and then come back with a part 2 in a couple weeks. Alright, what part 2 is going to be is a 24-hour period of time in this grove with an amazing amount of wildlife. You'll see us encounter hogs 5 different times in a 24-hour period. 3 of those times we're able to capture the shooting on the thermal camera, just like you're seeing right now. I'll show you some still footage of some other wildlife. It's going to be awesome. Come on back real soon. Thanks for watching.